that's the human condition, though, right?
Yes.
Something's not going right for us. Most
We
times
want
we
to
have to
blame
find
something.
someone or
Yes.
something to blame.
Yes. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 50. 50. It's about your paycheck. We are talking about how to build a budget in the new year. But before the details and the nitty gritty, what is going on, Walt?
Walt and Brian, I'm good. How about you?
Good, man. Getting ready for the new year. As we record this episode, is not quite the new year yet. You'll hear it in the year, but we have it last year. You'll hear it next year. But yeah, man, just getting ready and feeling good, and yeah, haven't really been listening to a lot of news either. That's another change in my. I'm a news junkie. Not crappy news. Like I listen to a lot like a different pop business news, pop news, and hip hop news, and all that stuff. But I don't know. I just been in a really different place very recently, and just going through that, man. Yeah.
I get it. Look, sometimes you got to tune out the noise. Right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
That's
that's a good way of putting it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had this app on my phone called Newsbreak, so I'm always getting news from around the world.
So, by the way, I can't see those articles when you send me.
That's because you don't have the app.
I don't have that.
A lot of the stuff I send you is like around like employee stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like that. But I get so many different articles, and it's all the news in the world. Remember, earlier when I was a kid, we didn't have to get all that information.
Nope.
Something could happen over in North Korea.
We didn't know anything about it.
And we didn't know.
Yep. When I had a friend of mine that put me onto BBC World News years ago, and that opened up the whole world for me because I didn't know anything about BBC World News. And they report on the news differently. It's not Western U.S. America the way we report on the news. But now, forget about it. With a smartphone and computers, forget it. There's so many news outlets. I was just listening to a article because I do still consume stuff, but I was saying something about the new generation. They get their news more from social media than they do traditional news outlets. So think about that. Like us right now, we are the source of somebody's news in payroll world because we're feeding them news with this segment that we're about to roll into, payroll news and pay news. As we do paycheck stuff, they get some of their news from listening to the show. So it's interesting, man. But yeah, you're right. It is a quieting time for me. And yeah, thanks. So let's get into it. Speaking of current events and news, what you got for us today?
So I have an article by financialimpact.com, and it's a case study on the 3 success stories of lawyers that are offering financial literacy to their employees.
We've been talking about that more. Yep.
So I'm going to give you the 3 employers and let you know what their challenges were, the solution that they had, and then the outcome. So this is one that you're familiar with, Staples, right?
Mm-hmm. The company.
Yeah. Staples. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge was that many of the employees were not engaged in the company's benefits program due to financial struggles. And that's a common occurrence, right? There's a lot of people who say, hey, I can't afford benefits because I don't make enough money.
That's right.
And so the solution was that Staples implemented a financial education through online games. There's that gamification, right? Covering topics like managing spending, reducing debt, and saving for retirement. So the outcome of Staples doing this was that the program led to a 32% improvement in employee retention, increased confidence, and higher productivity.
I love it.
Just from them implementing this program.
It sounds really interesting too. Sorry to cut you off, but because if you think about it, everybody lives on their phone and their apps. And if we're doing more and engaging through that and they gamify saving and forget about it. That's, yeah.
The next one is Schlumberger, which I don't know what company it is, but it looks like they're in the oil and gas market. The challenge that they face is that employees in this market faced financial instability due to the market fluctuations. And the solution is that Schlumberger provided financial education to help employees set personal financial goals and improve financial decision-making. The outcome is that it enhanced employee loyalty and motivation, And with financial education starting even before engineers graduate.
Oh, wow.
They started this stuff before their engineers graduated from school. And I think that probably gave them more confidence, right? Helped them out a lot. Then the last one I had, the Citigroup. The challenge was that there was a need for comprehensive financial literacy among their global employees. What Citigroup did was they offered an in-person and online financial literacy training, focusing on credit and money management. So what the outcome was is that it increased employee contributions to the 401k plan with 93% participants reporting that the training enabled them to make better financial decisions. That's a huge impact.
Yeah, I'm trying to read what they do again. They offer in-person online financial literacy training focused on credit money. Okay, no doubt.
So look, obviously these are three successful success stories about how financial literacy training impacts the business.
Yep.
You know.
Yes. We don't think about it often, but it is very front of mind and really obvious that if we're not happy about our money, and if we're not about our money and our financial wellness, then we're gonna, even if it's subconscious, we're gonna link it to like our job and money sucks, my job sucks.
Yeah,
I think, and it could not be related. It could be totally your fault that you suck at money, and then you just blame it. We're just blaming it on the job for no reason.
That's the human condition,
Yes.
though, right? Something's not going right for us. So most times
We want to blame someone
or something to blame.
Yes. Yep. And a lot of times it's not. That saying, when you point your finger, there's 4 pointing back at you. Check yourself.
Listen to me here.
Unless you're missing a finger. What's that Bible verse or Bible quote that says, "Don't talk about the splinter in my eye, the speck in my eye, when there's a 2x4 in yours," or something like that, or mine.
You got a plank in yours.
Yeah, you got a plank in my eye, and I'm talking about the speck in your eye. Exactly. I love it. I think that I would love to, again, me and wifey were just talking about, as we are in a midlife, not a crisis, we're just midlife reevaluation. We're talking about, okay, do we have the right tools to take us to the next 20 years and set up for retirement? And what do we want to be in retirement? We don't want to live with our kids in retirement. You know what I mean? My youngest is very sweet, and she's, "No, you guys are going to live with us." And I was like, "Oh, that's very sweet, but I don't want to live with Joe. I don't want to live with Joe. Like, I'm trying not to live with any of my kids. I lived long enough with y'all." You know what I'm saying? Point is, it would be great to be able to to have a benefit to learn more about it, because that's what was the plan that me and wifey made. We're like, look, let's start learning about things. Let's get comfortable about what we want and try to make a plan, because like I was like, look, I know so much stuff now, I don't even know anything. You know what I mean? Because there is no one right way for you and your couple and your household and your family, right? Your methods and strategy could be wildly different from mine, and they can both work. You know what I mean? And comfort level and risk level and all this stuff. But my point is, it would be great if we could just go have some type of unbiased resource to learn about it, because a lot of the resources that we have in our lives, they ultimately want to sell you something, right? Oh yeah, you could talk to a retirement specialist at work, but he's going to just drive you to the 401k plan and what you can do in the 401k plan. Oh, I could go to my bank, but they're going to just gear you toward what they're selling that month and what they're making the highest commissions on that month. You know what I mean? So it's, how do you really get unbiased education about it? And there's a ton of stuff out there. You just kind of, you gotta spread where you get your info from.
Yes.
And if some of these companies would do this unbiased, that would be dope. Yeah, that's dope, man. Thanks for sharing that. My article is from Forbes magazine, and the article is titled "Why Organizations Should Prioritize Employee Empowerment." Right? And they say the term employee empowerment is often considered a buzzword. However, implemented effectively, the concept is powerful enough to transform organizations. Employee empowerment refers to companies giving their workforce a voice and greater autonomy. When managers lead through empowerment, it doesn't mean leaving employees alone. Instead, it requires leaders to inspire, motivate, and coach their employees. So they said the 5 benefits that you get from it are: number 1, increases employee engagement and productivity.
Nice.
Number 2, it strengthens trust in leadership.
Nice.
It enhances employee creativity. 4, it boosts employee loyalty. And number 5, it leads to a better customer experience,
Yeah.
right? Because that's another buzz phrase word is the customer experience, right?
Yeah.
And some leaders believe that the only way to take care of your customers is by taking care of your employees.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
And I think one of the other things, I don't know if you said it, but it can probably improve the work environment
Yeah.
as well. And probably help people make better decisions.
Yep. Yep.
And you get those skills. What is that
Upskill.
term?
What we were saying, upskill.
Upskill.
The fancy
Yeah, man.
phrases that we come across. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Look, I'm excited, man. There are all these things important to keep in mind. And what I think about, unfortunately, is that not every company can and will do these things. Hopefully your company is, and look, what do you say all the time? Be the agent of change. Right?
You might be that first domino
There you go.
that falls to start that cycle of change.
And that's what and the reason why this article caught my eye is because we talk about empowerment. This show, we created this show. We do this show to empower employees. And Walt says it all the time, right? Be that first domino. Maybe your company doesn't do this stuff, but you can start planting the seed and talking to people and doing things. And maybe you just have a team. Maybe you could just implement some of these things for your team. And maybe you just implement it for yourself, and yourself is you invest in yourself for that growth piece. So before we get into our main topic for today, as we talk about budgeting, let's pay some bills. Shout out to TimeTrak GO. If you're an employee is tired of your messy timesheets or your complicated time clock software or using paper and getting paid wrong because your system doesn't track your time right, and you just get annoyed about your paycheck because something's always wrong and missed, then TimeTrak GO has a solution for you. It's a very intuitive solution that makes managing employee hours simple and efficient. That's what your payroll team needs to get you paid right. So don't take our word for it. Customers have given TimeTrak GO a 4.7 out of 5 stars on Capterra, and they have been awarded badges for best ease of use and best customer support again in 2024. Some of their customers are saying that it's a great value. It's a best clock in app on the market. Great time clock for the modern office, being because it's a tablet, an iPad or whatever it is. It's intuitive and efficient. It's simple to use and priced right. And the customer support is awesome.
To learn more about a simply better solution for that time tracking, real-time reporting, those PTO automations, payroll integrations, and more, you want to visit www.timetrakgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com. And start your 14-day free trial today. Let's go.
Let's go.
What you got for us, man? We get on the topic of budgeting.
So what do I have? So just a few tips. As you think about the new year, right? The first one is, and do I have it here? Track spending. You want to track your spending, and now is a great time to look back at what you spent for the year.
Yeah.
So that you could set goals for the new year. Set clear goals and to guide your financial decisions for the new year. Track spending meticulously to identify areas for improvement. I always think about a friend of mine back in the day that'd be like, oh, I know where my money goes. It comes in, it goes out.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're definitely not going to find an area where you can save because that's the mentality you have, right?
Yeah.
Distinguish between needs and wants to focus on priorities. Build an emergency fund to safeguard against financial setbacks. We talk about that all the time because the stats that we found is like most Americans do not have an emergency fund. Automate savings to make consistent progress toward your goals. Yes. Automate it. Yes. Especially for young folks. Build this into your plan early on, and then you won't even know, because a lot of folks are like, well, I got too many bills, I'm broke, I can't do these things. Tackle high interest debt to free up more money. and review and adjust your budget as life changes.
And life is always changing.
And life is always changing. That's right.
So look, I have some different ways that you may want to consider building a budget. And one of them we mentioned earlier in the article that I talked about, and that's gamifying budgeting. Make it fun. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be some drawn out process that's boring, because a lot of people have ADHD, or they can't concentrate, they can't focus. And maybe doing something fun will help you budget better. So that's a way to maybe build some better money management habits in a fun way. But you might want to consider attending some peer budgeting workshops.
Ooh,
you know, make sure that it's something that where people are certified, and or the people that are giving out the information, that they have actual success stories that you can read about and find out about. You just don't want to go just somebody makes up on their own.
Yeah.
And just like everything that you save $1 and bury $1 in the dirt is going to grow into a balloon tree.
If you rub it 2 times and bury it in the corner, it comes back more.
Yes. You want to find out where those organized workshops are. Those people can share their budgeting strategies and successes. And so that will help foster a sense of community, and also allows people to learn from real life experiences, right? So you want to be mindful about your money as well, right? So this might be something that's uncommon, is incorporating mindfulness techniques into your financial planning. So teaching you to be present and thoughtful giving. That could be trying to make you more conscious.
Some
about
people
your
emotionally spend because they're happy, or they spend because they're not happy.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, right? Be mindful.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Be mindful and present. Yep. Virtual reality financial simulations. So look, use virtual reality to simulate financial scenarios. So this immersive experience can help employees understand the long-term impact of their financial choices in a controlled environment. So think about it. I know it like it's gamification, but think about it. If you're playing Sims, or you're playing one of these different type of games, and you only have a certain amount of money to spend, you're going to try to budget and say, okay, I need to do this and this and save this money up so I can get what I need.
Yes.
And some people are able to do that in a game environment. But if you actually learn from that, you'll be like, oh, let me just apply that same logic to my money life. And then if I save a little money, then put enough money to the side, I'll be able to do this and save for that, or invest in this, or whatever. And then this one, I'm not so sure about. It's future proofing your budget, right? So you might want to consider future trends like cryptocurrency or digital wallets. And you might want to be prepared for how those changes, and how people are paid impact you. And you want to develop budgeting strategies for that accordingly. Right? Because the way we get paid may change. We don't know.
It's already changed. Earned wage access. It's already changed. Gig economy. That's a really good call out, because if you could pay yourself daily or weekly, then it changes how your budget is. If you and if that's new to your company, if you go from bi-weekly or semi-monthly, and then now all of a sudden earned wage access is a thing, then it changes the way you budget. So that's a really good call out. I love it.
And that's all I had.
Well, they're talking, okay. For our question of the day, is budgeting better than investing? Is budgeting better than investing? I feel like you got to do, but what made you put it?
Look, because sometimes I think that you can invest, but I think you have to budget first before you invest.
Yes, agreed.
So I would say that budgeting is better.
Will allow you to invest.
Because it will allow you to, because if I get punched, and I'm just like, oh, someone's telling me to put all my money in on my rent money on this and invest in all my extra little money, my savings money, the kids' college fund, put it on this, and you lose. Take that risk and lose, and then because you took that chance and invested in something that failed.
Yeah, you got to be able to afford to invest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And that's why Yeah, I do agree. Yeah. And that's what I was saying with my wife when we were talking about planning. We're gonna have different risk tolerances. We're gonna have that we think are good ideas for investing. We're
Yeah.
saving or we're investing. At one time, I was like, "Oh, what are we gonna save for? We broke. We gotta pay every. You gotta pay." And things change, and your thought. So like that's the part where you gotta consume the information so that you can properly like be able to contribute to a plan. Yeah, good stuff, man. Definitely making us think and getting us in the
And look,
right vein.
there's different strategies out there. You
Mhm.
have to find out what works for you as an individual or a collective. If you're single or you have a partner, family, whatever it is, whatever your setup is,
Yep.
find out what works best for you and your
Yep.
situation. Something I would stay to mind, and hopefully it makes sense. If you have, say, you have 3 pitchers, and you have 4 pitchers right there, and you
Pictures
have
or
enough
pitchers? A
pitchers,
whole
yeah, to
gotcha.
hold liquid in, right? You have those pitchers, and you have enough water to fill 3, right? But the 4th one, you won't be able to fill all the way, right? And so you could be lacking in that area. Why not just put one of those pitchers away or just put the extra water away and just save it until you have, if you keep doing that, you keep doing the math, you're eventually, when you put that extra into that 4th pitcher, instead of just throwing it away, that'd be like you dumping out the water and saying, I got 4 pitchers. Since
Mhm.
I can't fill up this 4th one, I'm just going to toss the water.
Yeah.
No, just put that little extra to the side in that 4th one, and then eventually, if you keep doing that, you'll end up having a full pitcher there, and then you keep doing that, you're gonna have to get a new pitcher fee,
Yeah. No doubt.
if that
That's
makes sense.
exactly right. No, that's exactly right. That's Damon Johns talks about that. He's like, you want to fill this one up because it's going to eventually overflow and fill the other ones up. So I forget the logic what his buckets are, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Good stuff, man.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you, folks. We love you. Till next time.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.